صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. أيحسب الصب أن الحب منكتم ما بين منسجم منه ومضطرب لولا الهوى لم ترق المعنى على طلب ولا فرقت لذكر الباري على مئة أبر في قولي لا منه ولا نعم هو الحبيب الذي ترجى شفاعته لكل هول من الأول مقتحم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغنا قاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم يا أكرم الخلق ما لمن أدعو به سواك عند حلول الحادث العمم والآل والصحب ثم التابعين لهم والصحب ثم التابعين لهم أهل التقى والنقى والحلم والكرم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله.
सामने कराम आपसे इंतहाई अदब व एहतराम के साथ मैं गुजारिश करूँगा कि ज़रा क्लोज हो जाएं, आगे आ जाएं, ताकि पीछे से आने वालों के लिए जगह हो जाए। हमने अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह चेयर्स के भी इंतज़ाम किए हैं कि और हो गए तो बाहर भी लोग बैठेंगे इंशाअल्लाह। अभी हम और आप कसीदा बुर्दा शरीफ समाप्त कर रहे थे। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह देखा आपने इन होनहार बच्चों को, ये घर की तरबियत का समरा है कि तीनों के चेहरे पर अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह दाढ़ी है। इसलिए नहीं कि मेरे शागिर्द हैं तो मैं तारीफ़ कर रहा हूँ, ऐसा नहीं, लेकिन कॉलेज में पढ़ते हुए और माशाअल्लाह ये लोग समर वेकेशन में यहाँ से फॉरेन कंट्री जाते हैं अपने हायर एजुकेशन के लिए। ये हमें और आपको कम मालूम है, ये बच्चे इतनी मेहनत करते हैं। लेकिन साथ ही साथ आप ये देखें कसीदा बुर्दा किस अंदाज से पढ़ा, इनके चेहरों पर दाढ़ियाँ देकर अल्लाह ताला हम सबको, हमारी औलाद को ऐसी बनाए। अब मैं हाफिज़ मुतहरी से गुजारिश करूँगा कि अपने गेस्ट स्पीकर को इंट्रोड्यूस कराएँ।
Alhamdulillah, usually when someone gets up here and they're introducing a speaker, especially someone of the magnitude of our ulama sitting here, they can tell you a lot about where they've studied and what they've done. I think with Mufti Wasim, the most important thing that I can tell you is every time I've heard him speak about Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you can hear the love in his voice. And the way that he describes Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that he brings to life for us some of the stories that we may think they're in these books. This man who was so far away from us, he tends to bring him closer to us and help us understand him. So I can tell you a lot about him, but I think it's best to take that away and let him actually speak for you. And I ask you to listen to him, because he always moves my heart every time, alhamdulillah, I listen to him. So inshallah he can do the same for everybody else in this room. And with that, I'd like to invite Mufti Wasim to come here and illuminate everyone's heart.
बहुत क्लोज आप और आगे आ जाएं, पीछे से आने वालों के लिए
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى خصوصا على خاتم الأنبياء محمد المصطفى صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وأنصاره وأزواجه وعلينا معهم. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تعالى عز وجل في القرآن المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: وإنك لعلى خلق عظيم. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى أكون أحب إليه من والده وولده والناس أجمعين. رواه البخاري. Honorable ulama, beloved brothers and sisters, before I begin what I wanted to speak about, my mind is just doing gymnastics right now after listening to the beautiful nasheed and seeing the community members come up and recite the nasheed and the speeches and the muhabbat and the love. It really blows my mind away. I just came back from Bukhara, Turmuz, Tashkent, Samarkand, where Imam Bukhari rahmatullahi is grave, Imam Tirmidhi rahmatullahi, and the great mashayikh are buried over there. I was in that area, and going to Bukhara, in a city where Imam Bukhari rahmatullahi alayhi studied Bukhari, taught his kitab. His kitab is known as Al-Jami' al-Musnad al-Sahih. It's a longer name. And Imam Tirmidhi rahmatullahi alayhi, the same thing. The cities where they authored the books, the cities where they taught the books, their name isn't Bukhari. His actual name is Muhammad bin Ismail bin Ibrahim bin Mughira bin Bardis bin al-Ju'fi. That was his actual name. But Bukhara was the area where he was from. So he became mashhur with Bukhari. Even though there were many scholars from Bukhara, and many other scholars were from Bukhara. It had tremendous amount of scholars. However, that one man, Allah gave him so much honor because of the khidmat of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's work, that forget his name, the entire town became famous because of him. However, I walked through the streets of Bukhara and I walked through the streets of Turmuz, and unfortunately, I asked over and over again to the youngsters that were around, is there any single person I wanted to get ijazah in hadith from someone in Bukhara? And I asked, is there any single person here who had studied the entire Bukhari from beginning till the end? And they said there is no person that they know of in the entire city, in Bukhara and Turmuz. So I was where Imam Bukhari rahmatullahi's mazar was, in the underneath where the actual grave area was. The Imam and them were very kind and very respectful. Usually they don't open that area, but they opened it on the bottom. And I went there and I gave a small dars of Bukhari, of Imam Bukhari rahmatullahi's kitab. And over there, I had said my entire chain of narration, and then I took the mu'addin and I gave him ijazah, and I said, carry this and give it to others around you. This evaporation of the deen took place because they did not push it on to the younger generation. The evaporation of the deen and the disintegration of it took place because they did not motivate the generation to come. So to seeing what you are doing over here, it was really heart-wrenching. The second thing is the constant recitation of the salawat and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the durood. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Man salla alayya wahidatan sallallahu alayhi ashra. The one who sends one salah upon me, one durood upon me, Allah sends 10 rahmat upon him. However, there are 40 benefits of saying one durood. And a durood can be as small as sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Number one, the person who says it gets 10 good deeds. That's 10 right there. Number two, the person who says it, 10 sins get forgiven. That's 20. The person who says it, Allah raises their status 10 levels. Number three. Number 4, 40 now. That the one who says it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends 10 rahmats upon them. So 40 benefits of saying one salawat on Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And there is a reason for this. Before I begin the discussion, it was just something that came to my heart. Jam'ai ahbab dard dil kehle phir iltifate dile dosta rahe na rahe. Baroz aziz ghanimat fikr haq kar badan mein dahan mein zaban rahe na rahe. So I thought to myself that we read the Quran and we do all these other a'mal, but why did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mention this aspect of man salla alayya wahidatan sallallahu alayhi ashra? Why was this recompensation done for the salawat of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And another incident of the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam came into my mind. And then the entire seerah started breaking down in before me. That the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had a habit that if any single person did something for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he reciprocated it immediately. He never kept anyone's ihsan on him. And at the end he says, I fulfilled anyone's ihsan besides Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. And his Allah will fulfill. So even that was fulfilled. If I tell you that, look, I can't take care of you, you're not even my guest, but listen, Mutahhir will take care of you. It's as if I've taken care of you. Right or wrong? So even where he says that the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not leave any ihsan unpaid. Hal jaza'ul ihsan illa al-ihsan. And to that I'll say one incident of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's life. Suraqa bin Malik was a disbeliever. He was a chieftain of a tribe. And the Prophet ﷺ was doing hijrah. And I'm going very quickly through the stories because I have a very long majnun to share with you ahead. While the Prophet of Allah was doing hijrah, there was a bounty on his head. You have the 10 most wanted, you have the 100 most wanted. In the 6th century, the Prophet ﷺ, or the 7th century, the Prophet ﷺ was the most wanted. And the Meccan, the British had said that the person who captures this man, he will get 100 camels. Now let me categorize this and let me quantify this for you and I. A camel is not just a car. For us, it's a car, right? 100 cars. If I gave you even 100 Priuses, I'm not going saying Mustangs or Benzes or Lambos, but even 100 Priuses, the cheapest car, I think, right? The Prius is the cheapest car? Not that, the Nissan Leaf. Okay? The Nissan Leaf. 100 leaves will make a tree, inshallah. So even if you take the cheapest car, the value of it will be tremendous when you multiply it by 100 times. Number one. So the camel was not only their car, it was also their mode of sustenance. They milked it, they drank from it, they took it. Okay, it wasn't only a mode of sustenance, but it was a mode of business. They would cohabit, create more, they would quantify it. Then they would put their loads on it, they would do business. So one camel was something that they would utilize in many, many methods. So 100 camels was the bounty. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is going. Suraqa says he sees a silhouette of a person, and there's a very long riwayah to it. But time doesn't give me the opportunity to share in the depth of it. He pursues the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He decides, I'm going to take this man, and I'll get 100 camels, and then I'll be very wealthy, and I'll retire. As he chases the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his conveyance gets closer to the conveyance of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet of Allah, Wallahu ya'simuka minan nas, that Allah will protect you from people. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at the dua of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, begins bringing the horse of Suraqa down. And as it's going down, he says, oh, Muhammad, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I'm sorry, please forgive me. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was mushfiq, he was shafiq. He was mushfiq, he was shafiq. So he turned back and he did dua to Allah, and his horse came back up. Thought to himself, beginner's luck. Could be a coincidence, happened first time. So he says, let me try it. 100 camels, a lot of money. So he tries a second time. Gets closer, the Prophet of Allah raises his hands, does dua automatically. The camel starts, his horse starts going underground again. He says, oh, you know what? Gets scared. Oh, Muhammad, please help me, I will not chase you, I promise I will not chase you. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam raises his hands, does dua. His horse comes back up. Thinks to himself that, okay, third time's the charm, right? Third time's the charm. So he tries the third time. So he begins chasing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet of Allah does dua, it starts disintegrating. And then again, he says, Muhammad, I promise, wallahi, again, I will never chase you again. And more than that, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. Now by saying the kalima, what did he lose? What did he lose? 100 camels. But nobody loses with the Prophet. Nobody loses. The Prophet is at his rock bottom. Financially, he has no money. He's migrating from Makkah. Economically, socially, politically, the Prophet of Allah arguably is at the lowest from a world economic, political perspective that he was ever in his life. He doesn't even have bodyguards around him. It's one man and another guy. That's it. He turns around and looks at Suraqa and says, Suraqa, kayfa bika? What will that day be? إِذَا لَبِسْتَ, when you will be wearing the golden manacles of the king of Persia. Whoa. You can't even protect yourself right now. You're promising me the golden manacles from the hand of the superpower at that time? You're telling me Trump's Rolex will come to me? No, no, no. What will you and I say at that moment? No, but they believed in Allah and His Messenger. Their iman was enough. Their one sight was enough. They didn't need long lectures like you and I. Tayrul kalami ma qalla wa dalla. It was few words, few sentences, and it hit their heart and changed their lives. That because they had ishq in their heart and they had love. And I'm going to get to that in a second. So then the Prophet of Allah says this to Suraqa, because the Prophet of Allah always pays his debts. Always pays it. هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان. Okay. Rock bottom. He doesn't question the Prophet. He doesn't, and I hope you can take this home with you and unpack this more with your mind and unpack it and feel the depth of the story. Later on, the Prophet of Allah becomes beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He passes on. Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu passes on. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu is the Khalifa. He's the Amir al-Mu'mineen de facto. He sent Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas radiallahu anhu to conquer Persia. And as you know, दश्तो दश्ते दरिया भी ना छोड़ा हमने बहरे ज़ुल्मात में दौड़ा दिए घोड़े हमने दश्तो दश्ते दरिया भी ना छोड़ा हमने बहरे ज़ुल्मात में दौड़ा दिए घोड़े हमने दिया आसाने कभी यूरोप के कलीसों में और कभी अफ्रीका के तख्ते में सहराओं में. He stood at the river bank and the Persian army is about to get the reinforcements. Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas looks around and he says, let's go. Where? On top of the water. The horses can't go. I'm telling you, let's go. Obey. They began, and the story is long, and I'm trying to just pack it for you just so I can share the essence of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with you. He goes, he conquers Persia, he enters the palaces, the ayat you read, and it's a phenomenal incident. Unpack it, read Sirah, unpack it later on. He goes inside, sees the gold and the treasure. He tells everyone, nobody's going to come inside here. Lest that the love of the dunya may enter the hearts of the Sahaba and the Tabi'in. Lest that the dunya may engulf them. So he says, no one will see them. Send this straight to Umar bin al-Khattab, Amir al-Mu'mineen, and he will distribute it among the Mu'mineen. Not a single pack is taken, and there's a whole long story to that as well. Read it. Read your legacy. LeBron will come and LeBron will go. There'll be 10 better than LeBron. Jordan was the best in his time. And not nobody, only they wear Jordan on their feet. He was the best in this time. Right. Now you wear it on your feet. And he's happy, you're happy. Sayyidina Umar bin al-Khattab radiallahu anhu sees the hoard of gold. He stops, goes through, plucks through it, finds the manacles.
Subhanallah.
Suraqa bin Malik is on his deathbed. Suraqa, do you remember the promise that Rasulullah made to you? I do. Brings the gold manacles, puts it on his hands. And this is Suraqa. The Prophet of Allah said, gold is haram on the men of his ummah. And then took it off. Breathed his last. But the Prophet of Allah always, anyone that does anything, he repays it. Okay, that was just something that came into my heart over the whole salawat discussion at that moment. Now moving forward, as I was coming, I had stopped to meet some of the youngsters. One young boy said to me, I want to go to the car with you, I have something to talk to you about. Hafiz of the Quran. And he says, I have some friends, they're Hafiz, they're this, they're good people, but they're involved in drinking and doing all their haram. How do I convince them? I tell them to pray, but they say, oh no, we're in this situation, we don't want to pray. How do I make this change into them? So I told them, I said, by telling them to pray isn't the solution. Because there's nothing that motivates them to pray. There's nothing that inclines them to pray. There's no reason for them to pray. They don't know why they're praying. It's automatic. You go inside, it's autopilot. The movements just go. All right, 3 seconds on this, 5 seconds on this, 7 seconds on this. Okay, if I have less time, then 2 seconds on everything. It's all on autopilot. They don't know why they're bowing, why they're looking up, why they're raising their hands, why they're reading salah. They don't know. So telling a troubled kid to pray salah is the solution. So they said, what is the solution? I said, speak on the legacy of Rasulullah. Because when he loves the man, then he will do what the man asks. When he loves the man, when he has muhabba for him, he recognizes that there's nothing better than him, then he will start doing everything that the Nabi of Allah asked for. And that is why the hadith of Bukhari, the Prophet of Allah says, La yu'minu ahadukum. You can't have iman. You really can't. حتى أكون, until my life, until my example, until my character, until my principles becomes أحب إليه, becomes more beloved to you. من والده, their parents, وولده, your children, والناس, your friends. Your friends want to go hang out, they want to do. No, but the Rasul of Allah didn't do this. He didn't do it in this manner, so I can't do it in this manner. The Prophet of Allah forbade it, therefore I can't do it as well. The Prophet of Allah told us to stop, therefore I have to stop as well. But this will only come if we know who he is. If we know about the Prophet of Allah, we are so distant from our seerah. We are so distant from our legacy. And we are looking for encouragement and motivation from all different types of people. Allah gave him to us. وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَىٰ خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. The ulama know the balagha behind this ayah. 10 forms of balagha, rhetoric Allah uses. A small verse, powerful verse. وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَىٰ خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. I mean, you can just unpack it. And for those who know Arabic, they appreciate the depth of the language. So now the love of Rasulullah. How do I bring love of the Prophet of Allah into my heart? There are many reasons people love someone. Today, I'm going to go over 6 main reasons someone loves another person. And all of these 6 reasons are found in Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Different reasons to love someone. Okay? Number 1 is Jamal. When someone is beautiful, you automatically have an attraction towards them. Someone who is beautiful. وَأَحْسَنَ مِنْكَ لَمْ تَرَ قَطُّ عَيْنِي وَأَجْمَلَ مِنْكَ لَمْ تَلِدِ النِّسَاءُ خُلِقْتَ مُبَرَّأً مِنْ كُلِّ عَيْبٍ كَأَنَّكَ قَدْ خُلِقْتَ كَمَا تَشَاءُ. Hassan bin Thabit radiallahu anhu was a poet of the Prophet ﷺ, and he was very eloquent and articulate. The Prophet of Allah used to have him sit on the minbar and he would say, Anshid ya Hassan, recite poetry. Allahumma ayyidhu bi ruh al-Qudus. Ya Allah, strengthen him with Jibreel alayhi salam. And this hadith is in Bukhari. This hadith is in Imam al-Jami'. In his authentic Sahih Kitab, where the Prophet ﷺ would have Hassan radiallahu anhu sit on the minbar and recite praise of Rasulullah ﷺ. I mean, Allama Busiri rahmatullah alayhi's words, the qasida has it touches my heart and it really gets to me. My teacher also wrote a commentary on Qasida Burda, and it's a very special book, a very close book to me. And all Nasheed and Nated, it holds a very strong place in my heart. But when you hear about it in his poetic stance, and you hear the rhythm, then the love and the muhabbat increases. Anyway, let me unpack Hassan bin Thabit's poem for you. وَأَحْسَنَ مِنْكَ لَمْ تَرَ قَطُّ عَيْنِي وَأَجْمَلَ مِنْكَ لَمْ تَلِدِ النِّسَاءُ. There's 2 types of beauty. There's beauty of surah and there's beauty of seerah. There's the outer beauty, there's the inner beauty. وَأَحْسَنَ مِنْكَ لَمْ تَرَ قَطُّ عَيْنِي. More beautiful in character, because character is more important than the outer looks. Your inner character is more important than your outer looks. So he doesn't begin with something that is saying, oh, the Prophet of Allah is beautiful, therefore we love him. He says, no. Let's start with the man's character first. وَأَحْسَنَ مِنْكَ لَمْ تَرَ قَطُّ عَيْنِي. I have traveled the world, I have seen people, I have read history, and I have seen every life that can possibly be written about. But I have never come across any person, أَحْسَنَ مِنْكَ, that is better than you. I haven't seen a person. وَأَجْمَلَ مِنْكَ لَمْ تَلِدِ النِّسَاءُ. Women no longer can give birth to children as beautiful as you. Women don't have the ability. No husband and wife has the ability to give birth to a child more beautiful than Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. خُلِقْتَ مُبَرَّأً مِنْ كُلِّ عَيْبٍ. No عيب in you. كَأَنَّكَ قَدْ خُلِقْتَ كَمَا تَشَاءُ. It is as if you told Allah how you wanted to be created. Jarir bin Abdullah radiallahu anhu says, رَأَيْنَا رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم. We looked at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَرَأَيْنَا الْهِلَالِ, and we looked at the 14th moon. And if you've seen the 14th moon, it's magnificent. And we have a lot of pollution here, light pollution, and you can't really enjoy the stars and the moon that we can back at home. When I was in Uzbekistan a few weeks ago, I just stopped in a town of Khiva, and I just stood there, and I just looked up, and I looked at the beauty. Inna zayyinna samaa dunya bimasabih. I said, Allah, we have been so lost in the beauty we've created, and we've forgotten the beauty you've created. We're so lost with seeing the tallest building, the beautiful lights, the light show, the Christmas lights. Oh, these are for those who have darkness. Not نوركم, it's for those who want the nur. But the people who have nur, they don't need to look at these lights where they have Allahumma ij'al fi ayni nura, wa fi qalbi nura, wa fi lisani nura, wa fi yamini nura, wa fi shimali nura, wa fi amami nura, wa fi khalfi nura, wa fi fawqi nura, wa fi tahti nura. We are the people of the ummah of nur. We don't need these electrical lights. But you gotta tap into it. You gotta connect to it. So he says, look at the Prophet, look at the 14th moon. And to them it was the brightest thing. You see, the Sahaba never compared the Prophet to the sun. They compared him to the moon, and there's a reason for that. Saif al-Dawla was a great king. Nabi was a great poet. He was such a good poet that he actually claimed prophethood. Then he did tawbah from there. He claimed prophethood because he thought he was so good. He claimed prophet. That's why it's called Nabi, the one who faked being a prophet. Then he did tawbah afterwards. He says a poem, and I'm just trying to give you a taste of how Arabs metaphorize things and how people selectively use different words for Rasulullah. So when he praises the king, he says all the other kings are like stars, and your kingdom is like the sun. What he's trying to say is that the other kings, they're beautiful in their place. They're like the stars. They all have their own unique spot. However, you're like the sun. When you rise, everything disappears. Right? Because it's the most largest entity in our entire, particularly in our galaxy. However, they never generally say the Prophet ﷺ looks at the sun. Why? It's because looking at the sun can cause harm. But looking at the moon doesn't cause harm. And the sun is fiery. There's heat. There's Jalal. The Prophet's Jamal. Okay. So he says, I looked at the Prophet and I looked at the moon. I looked at the Prophet, I looked at the moon, and I thought to myself, who's more beautiful, the Prophet or the moon? Then I realized the moon's got nothing on the Prophet. So one hadith scholar writes on this, Chand se bhi tashbih dena, ye bhi kya insaf hai. चांद से भी तशबीह देना ये भी क्या इंसाफ है उसके चेहरे पे दाए इनका चेहरा साफ है. He said, how can you even put the moon and the Prophet in the same sentence? The moon's filled with craters and blemishes, and the Prophet of Allah is blemish free. Anas bin Malik radiallahu anhu says, عددت شعر بيضاء على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. I counted the white hair on the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. فما كان فوق 20. It wasn't more than 20 strands of white hair. That even in the old age of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, half of us, we start becoming 28, 29, and mashallah, the beard starts becoming white. The Prophet ﷺ, 63 years old, less than 20 strands of white hair. We've never seen anyone like him before him or after him. I'll share something with you today. I'm sure many of you already know this. Most of the Sahaba could not describe the Prophet ﷺ. Most of the Sahaba were unable and incapable of describing the Prophet ﷺ. There's only few that could describe the Prophet ﷺ. Anas bin Malik radiallahu anhu, he was frequenting the home of the Prophet ﷺ. Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, Ali radiallahu anhu, Hassan Hussein radiallahu anhu. Hassan radiallahu anhu is generally the person who quotes it more. Ma'bad, she saw him at the time of Hijrah. And there's one other name, but I'm going to tell you at the end, inshallah. There was a reason why they could not describe the Prophet ﷺ. Amr bin al-As radiallahu anhu mentions this in Sahih Muslim. When Amr bin al-As, can someone tell me something about Amr bin al-As radiallahu anhu? Young, old, anybody? We have a lot to cover and I have like 20 more minutes. Something about Amr bin al-As radiallahu anhu. Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas, but I've been to that grave, and Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas radiallahu anhu is actually buried in Medina. But Amr bin al-As, he conquered Egypt. Okay, he conquered Egypt. And he's done a lot of great things in his life. He was in the battles of Persia, battles all across. The way he conquered Egypt was something out of Assassin's Creed, where they took a bunch of, a small group of people, they hopped over the fence, they killed the guards, opened the gates, got the other infantry inside, and it's something, unpack your seerah, read your seerah. It's remarkable. Anyway, he's on his deathbed, and he's breathing his last. And his son is sitting there, and he's saying, Abashir bi bushra Rasulillah. He said, may the glad tidings be upon you. May the glad tidings of Rasulullah be upon you. He says, قد فعلت كذا وكذا في الإسلام. You did this and you لك الصحبة Rasulullah. You were with the man. You fought against him, then with him, shoulder to him. You fought alongside the Prophet ﷺ, then you fought for the Prophet ﷺ, then after the demise of the Prophet ﷺ, you fought. And he says, you've done this and that, and you were amongst the great legends of the Sahaba. And they listened. And the Sahaba were different. They didn't get flattered like us. We love flattery. If someone says something bad about me, wrong about me, I'll quickly defend myself. No. I didn't do this. But if somebody makes up all of these good things about me, Jazakallah khair, yes. I am like this. The Sahaba, they didn't cater to this type of stuff. So Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu is on his deathbed. And his son goes on, he's trying to motivate his father. Imagine you're a Sahabi who conquered Egypt. You're a legend. And you're on your deathbed. And you've been with the man himself. You were there when Wahi came. You were there when the Sahaba fought in battles and the Malaika descended. And on his deathbed, he's being told, you got nothing to worry about in the hereafter. And he says, my son, if you want the honesty, I wish that everything I've done is neither for me or against me. I just disappeared. I'm scared to face my Allah. And you and I say, oh no, you can't judge me. God will judge me. Only Allah can judge me. That's the problem. I'd rather have anybody judge me than Allah judge me. I'm scared of everyone else says anything, it doesn't matter. But if Allah, that should bring fear in my heart. On his deathbed, he says, after he finishes that, he says, لو قيل لي صف لنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ما أستطيع فوالله ما أمليت عيني قط إجلالا له. He said, Wallahi, anybody, I know, my son, I fought against the man, then I fought with the man. I fought against him, then I fought with him. And I spent time with him and I've heard hadith. But wallahi, if you were to tell me to describe the Prophet ﷺ, ma astati'u, I cannot. فَلِأَنِّي, because I never got a full glimpse of Rasulullah ﷺ out of respect for Rasulullah ﷺ. So the Sahaba would sit around the Prophet, they would benefit from him, but looking down. And they were in awe. Imam Qurtubi rahmatullahi alayhi writes, the great Cordobian scholar, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually did not do tajalli of all the sifat of Rasulullah ﷺ because the Sahaba wouldn't be able to handle it. That the whole tajalli of Rasulullah ﷺ sifat the Sahaba would not have the ability to be able to bring it inside them. Okay. I mentioned to you a few people who could describe the Prophet ﷺ. One of them that could describe the Prophet ﷺ and that does it extensively, his name is Abu Hala. His name is? Abu Hala. Who's Abu Hala and why could he describe the Prophet ﷺ? He's not a famous Sahabi. The rest of the ones you knew. Anas bin Malik, Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, Hassan radiallahu anhu. These names you're all familiar with. Hala bin Abi Hala. Why could he describe the Prophet very well, in very detail, but other Sahabas could not? I just told you, the man like Amr bin al-As, who made Egypt kneel to him, kneel to his army, could not raise his head in front of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But why could it? Hala bin Abi Hala do it? Does anyone know? He was the son of Khadija radiallahu anha from her first husband. So he was there at the Prophet's wedding with Khadija radiallahu anha. So he's seen the Prophet from his 20s. Therefore, spending a long time with the Prophet ﷺ, he was able to muster and see the Prophet ﷺ and quote about the Prophet ﷺ. As the riwayat says of Ali radiallahu anhu, that if in ra'ahu badihatan habahu, the first time you saw him, you'd get scared, you'd have this awe. of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But when you start mingling with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then tranquility and peace, and you get that comfort level of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, the first thing is Jamal. Number 2, Kamal. Jamal, when someone is beautiful, you have love for them. Number 2 is Kamal. Someone is really good at basketball. Someone's really good at Fortnite. They have a certain Kamal. There's some quality in them that makes you like, oh, I want to be like him. I want to shoot like LeBron shoots. I want to do a layup like Kobe does. Kobe fan or LeBron fan? Harden?
Kobe.
Harden? Oh, he has a beard, mashallah. The Shaykh was talking about the beard. Do dua, he becomes hard on deen. Kamal, when someone exhibits quality, a great quality, a great valor, there's automatic love for that person of their perfection and proficiency. The Prophet ﷺ not only had Kamal in himself, but he could make Be Kamal Ba Kamal. He not only, you see, in English they say to do it yourself is to be good, but to be able to delegate is to be great. I can run my family business all by myself really well. I'm 80 years old, my children still don't know how to do anything, and we all know that person in the family. The family business, I can do it, nobody else knows how to do it, I'll do everything. And then you have other people who know how to delegate well. And they know that when their time is over, they'll put it on someone else's shoulder and they'll delegate it. And that is the most difficult thing, to have someone else run something in your absence. That's a difficult challenge. And the seerah is filled of stories of how the Prophet ﷺ filled people who were Be Kamal and Ba Kamal. Be Kamal without any great qualities in them, and furnished them and chiseled them to remarkable individuals. I'll share one, and then we have to go on. There's 4 more that I have to mention. Sayyidina on the deathbed of Khattab, his father Khattab was crying. To come a little closer so that if salah and these were great, shouldn't be done in a pathway, it becomes easy. And plus, I'm wearing very nice Versace. Not as good as Allama Sahib is wearing, because I smelled his oud, but similar, inshallah. So Khattab begins crying, and Khattab says, and Umar, at this time he's not a Sahabi, so he says, my father, why do you cry? So he says, my son, I'm worried about what will happen to you after my demise. You're useless, you don't know how to do anything. So he says, what do you mean, father? What do you mean I can't do anything? He says, well, something as small as a flock of sheep, your mother and aunt would tell you to look after the flock of sheep, but instead of doing that, you'd go to sleep on a tree and a wolf would come and eat them all. You can't even maintain a small flock of sheep. You know, parents come home, what are you going to do with your life? You can't even clean your room. What are you going to do with your life? How are you going to have a wife? Right or wrong? We've all heard that. So Khattab says, my son, if you could herd a group of sheep, you could make some money and feed yourself. But you don't even know how to do that. How are you going to sustain yourself? The same Umar that could not sustain a flock of sheep, after getting suhbah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he becomes radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, and he becomes the de facto leader and ruler of 2.2. Great's kingdom was 2 million square miles. Alexander the Great was only 2 million square miles, saying that Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu 2.2 million square miles. He was able to exhibit Kamal in other people. That's what Ja'far radiallahu anhu said to the king of the king of Abyssinia. He said, we were a lost nation. And reflect on this, my dear brothers and sisters. Are we not a lost nation? Do we not find purposelessness in ourselves? I met a man the other day before Jum'ah Salah. He said, I have a great job. And I've heard this many times. I have a great job, great wife, great children, beautiful house. I'm not happy. I feel like I have no purpose. I feel like I have no point. Kamal in all the Sahaba, but through his words and his speech and his action and his seerah, any person who adopts that exhibits Kamal as well. So imitating that person and exhibiting him will make you like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So number 1 is Jamal. Number 2, Kamal. Number 3 is Hubb la Zawal. Hubb la Zawal, when someone loves you from the depth of their heart. You always have that father or mother's friend or relative or that friend of yours that just loves you. They don't need anything from you, but they just truly and genuinely love you. And automatically, because of their affection and compassion, you like them as well. Right or wrong? Right? ظلمت سنة من أحيا الظلام إن اشتكت قدماه الضر منه. Allama Busiri rahmatullahi alayhi says in Qasidah ظلمت سنة من, I have forsaken the sunnah of that person whose soft feet خدمت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم 10 سنين. Anas bin Malik radiallahu anhu said, I served the man 10 years. 10 years. فما قال لي أف قط ولا لشيء صنعت لما صنعته ولا لشيء تركته لما تركته. I served the Prophet ﷺ 10 years. And he never asked me, why did I do something or why didn't I do something? Then he says, ما مسست قزا ولا ديباجا ولا حريرا ألين من كف رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Has been righteous, we don't have it in us, but may Allah make us amongst them, inshallah. Hubbil azawal. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Anas bin Malik radiallahu anhu says, "Ma masistu qazzan wala dibajan wala hariran alyana min kaffi Rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam." He said, "I've never touched silk, brocade, velvet, any material softer than the hand of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam." This hand that is softer than silk, that would mean the feet are also softer than silk. These, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they would swell up. And for who? For who? For us. وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى. The shuyukh are here. I want to just finish this discussion very quickly and benefit from the shuyukh, inshallah. وَالضُّحَى means, duha is that jash time, that time when the sun is at its brightest, at its zenith. मैं जाश की कसम खाता हूँ. وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى, layl, night, saja, as it envelops, as it darkens. مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى. Your Lord has not forsaken you. وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى. Allah will give you so much, so much, so much that you will be happy. Okay. Contextualize this, okay? Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu asked the people, he said, what do you consider to be the ayah that encompasses the most hope for the sinning believer? The one who sins, the one who does haram, kabira, and everything. Which ayah gives them the most hope that Allah will forgive them? Anyone? يا عبادي الذين أسرفوا على أنفسهم لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله. يا عبادي, O my servants, ومما زادني شرفا وتيها وكدت بأخمصي أن أطأ الثريا دخولي تحت قولك يا عبادي وأن أرسلت لي أحمد نبيا. The Arabic poet says, ومما زادني شرفا وتيها. You know, people want to honor you. This is vice president, manager, doctor, engineer. You know what honors me? If you give me this title, it'll be as if I'm on cloud 9. I'm above everything. What is that title? دخولي تحت قولك يا عبادي. Ya Allah, that I am your servant. Oh, it is the greatest title. Subhanalladhi asra bi abadihi. It's going higher, but Allah says abd. Ubudiyya, that the quality of ubudiyya is the greatest title anyone can give me. وَأَنْ أَرْسَلْتَ لِي أَحْمَدَ نَبِيًّا, and that you have given me a Nabi, Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he says this ayah, Ya ibadi alladhina asrafu. Ya ibadi, O my servants, alladhina, those, asrafu, that have hurt, transgressed, that have abandoned asrafu. They went against israf. Asrafu ala anfusihim la taqnatu. Don't despair from Allah's mercy. O you who've forgotten me, O you who've drank, O you who has missed your salah, O you who has lied, O you who has cheated, O you who has done haram, O you who has taken interest, la taqnatu min rahmat. Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu says, Askufa wale. We have a different ayah that we think holds the greatest hope for the sinning believer. So he said, what is that ayah? He says, this وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى. Now, I'm going to unpack Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu's sentence. وَالضُّحَى, what did it mean? Someone help me quickly? I swear by the sun at its height and at its brightest, right? Duha literally means its brightest. Okay? So focus on bright over here. Wal-layl, and the night, saja, envelops, right? It darkens, Allama Alusi rahmatullah alayhi in Ruh al-Ma'ani says, وَالضُّحَى مَا قَسَمْ كَاتَهُ شَرِ أَنْوَرْ مُحَمَّدِ عَرَبِي صلى الله عليه وسلم وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى और मैं कसम खाता हूँ जुल्फ़े अंबरी की. I swear by the blessed face of Muhammad Rasulullah as it brightens. وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى, and I swear by the Zulfi of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى. Your Allah will give you so much that you will be happy. Now, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's 3 daughters and 3 sons passed away in his life. He buried it with his own hands. And Allah tells you that I'll give you until you're happy. How many of us have suffered a loss? Financial, health, job, a loved one. If Allah told you, I'll give you anything you asked for, we would ask for that loved one back. We'd ask for that money back. We'd ask for wealth and riches. Every Nabi is given a dua. And every Nabi used their dua. The Prophet ﷺ said, I benched this dua, I benched my dua for the akhirah. This riwayat is in Sahih Bukhari as well. And on the day of judgment, the sun will be a handspan away from you. And every person will be drenched in their sweat. In the riwayat of Sahih Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ said, the earth will be turned into a bread. And people will wait extensively long and drowning in their sweat. And imagine the smell of your sweat and the people around you. Right now it's getting hot when you turn on the fans. Oh. The sun will be closer than the light is to you. And the day before the judgment takes place will be extended because the concept of physics changes in the hereafter. Time and space is altered. The wait will get very long. People will grow impatient. They say in Arabic, al-intidhar ashaddu min al-maut. Waiting is worse than death. Is there sisters in here?
Yes.
We know when we have to wait for everybody at home before leaving for somewhere. Waiting inside the car. Just 10 minutes, just 10 minutes. This could be the brothers too. I'm not saying the sister did it. I just asked just to make sure that how to finish the joke. Al-intidhar ashaddu min al-maut. So people will grow very tired and they'll say, you know what, we don't care if we go to Jannah or Jahannam, just make the decision already. So everyone will run to Adam alayhi salam. And they will say, Anta Adam, Anta Abuna. You are our father. You were the first man who entered Jannah. خَلَقَكَ اللَّهُ بِيَدِهِ. Allah created you with His own hands. Allah fashioned you. Ask Allah to begin hisab. Because at that day, everyone is scared to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Adam alayhi salam will say, Nafsi, 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 nafsi. My nafs, my nafs. My nafs, my nafs. Because I can't worry about you. I have my own problems today. For I ate from a fruit that Allah forbade me from eating. Did he eat on purpose or accident? وَلَمْ نَجِدْ مِنْهُ asma, which means that it wasn't something fully thought through. It was an accident. And Allah later on forgives him. But he eats one fruit in Jannah by accident, and he's scared to talk to Allah, and he says, Nafsi, Nafsi, I cannot. I'm worried about myself. How many times do you and I eat haram by accident? How many times do we go, oh, no, but I told them to change the glove. I told them to don't cook over there. No, the chicken isn't okay over here, but the beef is okay. Doesn't cross-contamination happen here? No, don't eat the chicken, but the beef is okay. The lamb is okay. Your food is what fuels your du'as. You want to know why your du'as aren't getting accepted? It's because the fuel is wrong. We're being injected wrong. And that's a discussion for another time. So people will go from there and they will run to Nuh alayhi salam. And they will say, Ya Nuh, anta, you are the Nabi of Allah. For you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed a long life. And Allah gave you the opportunity to give da'wah. Then Allah flooded the world and He did this. You can make dua for us. And Nuh alayhi salam says, Nafsi, 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 Nafsi. I'm scared today. I'm only worried about myself. I can't deal with you. I asked Allah. Allah told me, don't do dua for the disbelievers. And Allah said, I will protect your family. When the flood came and the water was rising and my son was saying he's going to protect himself, I said, La asim al-yawm. There's no one going to protect you today. My son drowns. I turned towards Allah. I said, Ya Allah, you promised me that my family would be saved. And this is my son. I gave birth to him, my biological child. And Allah says, oh, Nuh, he may be your biological child, but he's not your spiritual child. And only it matters if he's your spiritual child. وَلَا تُخَاطِبْنِي. And don't ask me again of this thing. And immediately Nuh just told him, Ya Allah, I made a wrong dua. One wrong dua makes a Nabi of Allah who spent 50 years in his service scared to ask Allah to begin Qiyamah. How many haram duas do you and I make? The Prophet ﷺ said Allah accepts, the riwayat of Sahih Muslim, that Allah accepts people's duas until they ask for haram. When they ask for haram, then Allah stops accepting the dua. The businesses are filled with interests. Everywhere, riba. Allah pa barakat in it. And the interest is pouring down. The haram is everywhere. How many du'as? Ya Allah, please let that girl accept my Snapchat request. Haram du'as. These are haram du'as. Ya Allah, we know what we say. And one dua made Nuh alayhi salam fearful of Allah on the day of judgment. Okay. Then they go from Nuh alayhi salam to Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. Anta Ibrahim, Anta Khalilullah. You are the friend of Allah. You do dua to Allah. You are Allah's Khalil. You have Siddiq and then you have Khalil. Khalil is like the best friend. And Ibrahim alayhi salam says, Nafsi, 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 Nafsi. I can't ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because I did 3 times I said such words that could be interpreted as lies. 3 times I said such words. And you all know the story. Time is running out. I can't go into detail. Number 1, who broke the idol? Bal fa'ala kabiruhum. The big one did. Number 2, who is this? Come to the Eid with us. Ana saqim. I'm sick. However, what he meant by ana saqim was I am spiritually sick. Bal fa'ala kabiruhum. The big one did it, meaning Allah did it. Right? It was the will of Allah at the end. Number 3, who is Sarah to you? She is my sister. Okay, she's your sister in Islam. So they were not technical lies. These are what we call tawriya or white lies. They were not technical lies. But however, these 3 are versions from the truth. Makes Ibrahim alayhi salam so scared on the day of judgment, he can't face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How many times do you and I lie? Is Papa home? Tell him I'm not home. No. Dad's saying that he's not home. How much do we lie in our own day to day? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, la'natullahi ala al-kadhibin. How much, honestly? We ask, why did my children grow up to be liars? People ask all the time. The kids partying at his friend's home. Where are you? I'm in the library. He's partying at another person's home. Oh, okay, mashallah, my kid is studying. Later finds out, my kid lied to me. Where did he learn this? Well, he learned it when he was younger, or she was younger, and they heard the parents lie. Tell your mother that we're not home this weekend. Tell your father he can't come home, and the lies that happen. And I don't need to unpack that. We all know our culture, and we breed this. And children learn from what they see, not from what they hear. The children learn from what they see, not what they hear. The Sahaba are called Sahaba because Sahaba. Otherwise, kitabs are always available. They were in the company and they engulfed it in. So then from Musa alayhi salam, they run. And they go to Sayyidina from Ibrahim alayhi salam, they went to Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. And they say, Anta Kalim Allah. Ya Musa, you spoke to Allah. Surely you scared of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala today. And what does Musa alayhi salam say? Oh no. I hit someone and I accidentally killed them. I'm scared to face Allah. How many people do you and I hit? How many people's emotions do we kill? How many people's ambitions and passions and their visions do we destroy? The Prophet ﷺ says that the heart of a believer, the honor of a believer is more valuable than the Kaaba. Why? The Kaaba can be rebuilt, but disgrace a Muslim believer, that can't be fixed. The hurt, the backlash, the emotional scarring that is done. Your words are powerful. Your words are very powerful. Wallahi, these words, there's nothing more sweeter than them. No, there's nothing in the world that's more sweeter than them. And when they turn, there's nothing more bitter than them. They are more bitter than the 4 oceans and the 7 seas combined together. These words, use them wisely. Then they run from Musa alayhi salam. And they go to Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam. And they say, you are Allah's Nabi. Allah sent you this world in a miraculous way. Ask Allah that Allah begins Hashr. And he says, Nafsi, 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 Nafsi. Idhab ila Muhammad, فَإِنَّهُ حَبِيبُ اللَّهِ. Go to Muhammad. They went to Adam alayhi salam, Nafsi, Nafsi. They went to Nuh alayhi salam, Nafsi, Nafsi. They went to Ibrahim alayhi salam, Nafsi, Nafsi. They went to Musa alayhi salam, Nafsi, Nafsi. They went to Isa alayhi salam, Nafsi, Nafsi. They're running to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ummati, 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 Ummati. Then at that moment, what is it, my ummah? Ya Nabi Allah, we can't wait no longer. Ud'u ila rabbik, do dua to your Allah. فَخَرَّ سَاجِدًا. The Prophet of Allah will fall into sajda. فَيَحْمِدُ اللَّهِ, and he will praise Allah like no one ever has ever praised Allah in the history of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for a long time, he will stay. And then Allah will say, Ya Muhammad, ارفع رأسك وقل تسمع وسل تعطى واشفع تشفى. Oh Muhammad, today is the day of honor for you. Raise your head. ارفع رأسك وقل تسمع. Speak and you will be heard. وسل تعطى. Ask and you will be granted. واشفع تشفى. Intercede and I will accept your interception. And he will say, Ya Allah, ummati, ummati. And Allah will say, قَدْ غَفَرْتُ ثُلَثَ أُمَّتِكَ Ya Muhammad. I have forgiven 1/3 of your ummah. They are forgiven, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Prophet of Allah says, Ya Allah, وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرَضَى. You gave me a promise in your kitab that I will soon give you so much, O Muhammad Arabi, that you will become happy. Ya Allah, I am not happy with 1/3 of my ummah being forgiven. I want more. And he will fall into sajda. Running after LeBron and learning after these celebrities who, if you get near them, they will call their security upon you. We've forgotten who we were. 1.7 billion of us do anything. Why? Because we're no longer like him. Muhammadun rajulun laysa kar rajuli wal yaqutu hajarun laysa kal hajari. Yes, Muhammad was a man unlike any other man. A diamond is a rock unlike any other rock. There was something different about him that caused a huge change in people. There was something unique. No other person can give you that inspiration. He falls into sajda. Du'as again. After extended time, Allah said, Ya Muhammad, irfa' ra'sak, wal tusma' wasal tu'ta, washfa' tushfa'. Muhammad, speak and you will be heard. Ask and you will be granted. Intercede and your intercession will be accepted. Ummati, 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 ummati. Ya Muhammad, qad ghafartu nisfa ummatik. I have forgiven half the ummah. وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى. You said you're going to give me so much, so much, so much that I'll be happy. I'm not content with half my ummah. What about the other half, Ya Allah? You know, when we go to the road of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there's a hadith by Riyadul Jannah. There's a hadith by Riyadul Jannah, and it hits me every time. شَفَاعَتِي لِأَهْلِ كَبَائِرْ مِنْ أُمَّتِي. That my intercession is for those who did the worst of sins. He comes with a message, and the ones who don't listen, he's saying, I'll intercede for you. There's nothing. He's ma'soom. No sin, nothing. You said you'll give me so much that I will be happy. What about the other half of my ummah, Ya Allah? He will fall back into sajda for a long time, and he praises Allah the way no one has ever praised Allah before. And Allah will say, Ya Muhammad, irfa' ra'sa wa qul tusma' wa sal tu'ta washfa' tushaffa' فَإِنِّي قَدْ غَفَرْتُ جَمِيعَ أُمَّتِكَ. I have forgiven your entire ummah. You have someone that loves you, and you have an example of perfection. You have an example of happiness. That's your role model. I promise you, I'm a student of history. There's not a person in the books of history who has been documented like Muhammad Rasulullah. There is not a person who has created a momentous change like Rasulullah. In the next 3-4 minutes, I really want to wrap up the last few points. Jamal, Kamal, Hubb la Zawal. Number 4, Nawal. To do a favor upon someone. When a person does a favor upon someone, automatically you begin to love them. You begin to appreciate them. What does the Prophet ﷺ do? The Prophet of Allah wasn't biased. If one Sahabi was his Siddiq, the other was his Faruq. If one was his Faruq, the other was Dhun Nurayn. If this was Dhun Nurayn, this was Asadullah. If this was Asadullah, then this was Saifullah. If this is Saifullah, this is Aminu Hadi al-Ummah. He is the trusted one. If this is the Amin, then these are the Hawari, my helpers in the Ummah. If these are the Hawari, then there's every Sahabi that the Prophet ﷺ came into contact. He made them feel special and did something special for them and made them unique. Look through the annals of the Sahaba. Okay, if Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu is in his place, and Umar radiallahu anhu is in his place, and Uthman is in his place, radiallahu anhu, and Ali radiallahu anhu. Okay, what about the other 6? They are Ashara Mubashara. Okay, what about someone like Hudayfa bin Yaman? What about him? Okay, he's going to be my secret keeper. Okay, Hudayfa bin Yaman is a secret keeper. Okay, what about Mu'adh bin Jabal? Mu'adh bin Jabal is a'lamu bil halal wal haram. Okay, Mu'adh bin Jabal has this quality. What about Ubay ibn Ka'b? Okay, he is aqra'uhum Ubay ibn Ka'b. Every Sahabi, the Prophet ﷺ bestowed them and equipped them, and he assisted them, and he helped them, and he grew each individual. And that was the remarkable quality of Rasulullah ﷺ. Looking to our lives, the nawal of Rasulullah ﷺ reaches to us. When a person starts acting on the sunnah, what happens? Automatically they become a better person.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Subhanallah.
Automatically become a better person. And again, I want to wrap up. Jamal, Kamal, Nawal, Hubb la Zawal. Number 5 is Mal. No matter how bakhil the person is, if they're rich, we automatically like them. Right or wrong?
Right.
There's 2 levels of bukhl. One is bakhil and one is shahid. A bakhil is alladhi يَأْكُلُ مِنْ مَالِهِ وَلَا يُؤْكَلُ مِنْ مَالِهِ. The one, nobody else can take from me. It's only for me. It's only for me. And he uses himself. Come to share with anyone? Oh, no. It's for me only. Okay. Shahi is one level higher. الَّذِي لَا يَأْكُلُ مِنْ مَالِهِ وَلَا يُؤْكَلُ مِنْ مَالِهِ. He doesn't let anyone else touch his money. And he doesn't use it himself either. He's the top level of bakhil. But even that bakhil, we see them, oh mashallah, and we begin having, even if they don't give us a single dollar, you have Muhammad with someone who is wealthy. The Prophet ﷺ's wealth and how much he gave, تعود بسط الكف حتى لو أنه تعود بسط الكف حتى لو أنه تناهى لقبض لم تطعه أنامله تراه إذا ما جئته متهللا كأنك الذي تعطيه أنت سائله هو البحر من أي نواحيه أتيته فلجته المعروف والجود ساحله ولو لم يكن في كفه غير روحه لجاد بها فليتق الله سائله. The Arabic poet says, تعود بسط الكف حتى لو أنه. The Prophet would give so much that the hands don't no longer close when they get something, but they're already open to give it to the next. تراه إذا ما جئته متهللا كأنك الذي تعطيه أنت سائله. When you go to ask the Prophet for something, you would see him so happy. It is as if he is the receiver and you are the giver. Let me rephrase that again. When you go to take from the Prophet, he is so happy giving to you. It is as if he is the receiver and you are the giver. هو البحر من أي نواحيه أتيته فلجته المعروف والجود ساحله. He is an ocean of generosity that is filled with the banks of generosity. The ocean is so generous. If you are near it, it gives you pearls, and if you're far away, it sends you rain. The Prophet of Allah and the poet goes on and says, وَلَوْ لَمْ يَكُنْ فِي كَفِّهِ غَيْرَ رُوحِهِ لَجَادَ بِهَا فَلْيَتَّقِ اللَّهَ سَائِلُهُ. If the Prophet of Allah had nothing, and only the ruh remained, and you ask, even that he's ready to give. So fear Allah, don't ask. Don't ask, this man will give everything. Nabi of Allah will give everything. What was left in the Prophet's home? Look at our homes. Look at, and I speak just for myself, for the shuyukh that are on my side. They are great people that I aspire to have the good qualities of them in my life. The Prophet of Allah, in his masjid, if someone was hungry, they could go to the Prophet and ask for food. When are we going to become imams like Rasulullah? Until we don't become the people where the community can come for their hawa'ij to us. Until we don't become the real waratha of Nabuwah. This is for myself more than anything. This is mal, generosity. Jamal, Kamal, Mal, Nawal, Hubbil Azawal. Number 6, I'm ending with this. Kawnihi kal walid wa nahnu kal iyal. The Prophet ﷺ was like a fatherly figure to us. Ana manzalati bi abik. I'm like a father to you. One more poem that I remembered on the Prophet ﷺ generosity. They mentioned this for Zain al-Abidin rahimahullah, but this can be applied to the Prophet ﷺ as well. ما قال لا قط إلا في تشهده. ما قال لا قط إلا في تشهده. لولا التشهد كانت لاؤه نعم. The Prophet of Allah never said la. La means what? No. He never said la to the one who asked him for something, besides one place, in La ilaha illallah. And had there been no La ilaha illallah, there would be no la in the vocabulary of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay. Number 6. كونه كالولد ونحن كالعيال. The Prophet is like a father to us. From everything. How to eat. We don't know how to eat. He teaches us how to eat. We don't know how to clean. He teaches us how to clean. We don't know how to wear clothes. He teaches us how to wear. We don't know how to act with our spouses. He teaches us how to act with our wife, with our children, with our husbands, with our parents. We are ignorant. We don't know anything. ما كان محمد أبا أحد من رجالكم ولكن رسول الله وخاتم النبيين. He isn't the biological father because he is the spiritual father of every one of us. Okay. I will count 2 incidents from the Prophet's life, and this will be the end, inshallah. Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi says that Medina is more virtuous than Makkah. All the other Aimma say Makkah is the most blessed land. Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi says Medina is double blessed than Makkah because the Prophet said, Ya Allah, Ibrahim is your Khalil, he asked you for Makkah, I am your Habib, I ask you for Medina, double the du'as of Ibrahim alayhi salam in Medina to Munawwar. Okay? However, there is no doubt, and this is unanimous, that the area where the Prophet ﷺ's Rawla is, and the dirt that is surrounding the Jasad Mubarak of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is more valuable than even the Arsh itself. Why? The Arsh is makhluk, right or wrong? It's a creation of Allah, right? Okay. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, makhluk, creation, right? What is the best creation? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And a person is concocted from the dirt that they passed away from. So the area around where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is, and that is even more valuable than the Arsh itself. So the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ holds its sanctity. A man comes. Bedouin. In those days, it wasn't like us where you have a bathroom in the masjid, wudu area here. No, bathroom you did outside. If you did bathroom inside the home, you were barbaric. And if you did it outside, you were civilized. Today, if you do it inside, you're civilized. If you do it outside, you're barbaric. Times have changed. The man comes. He looks, sees this corner, someone is praying over here. That corner, someone's doing tasbih. That corner, someone's doing Quran. Oh, that corner is empty. He goes there and he begins relieving himself. This is Masjidun Nabawi. Disrespecting Masjidun Nabawi. This is not. I described the Prophet's role and everything so you can understand the greatness of what has been done. This is not someone yelled in our masjid. Someone begins yelling, bye, stop yelling, this is the masjid, this is the house of Allah. Imagine a person relieving themselves in the house of, no, in the masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Sahaba got up to him, take care of him. And the Prophet, and he ran, and he grabbed his shawl, and he covered. And after the man finished, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells him gently, this is our masjid, we don't do this over here. If a kid, someone's phone goes off in the salah, immediately, he was like,